miscellaneous dumbass boxes for them, you will be corny to them. And I don't feel like people like that you should even argue with. If somebody told me having one leg is cool, and to be cool you have to chop off your leg, and that's the only way that you can join the cool club, I just wouldn't join the club. So I feel like a lot of us need to take a different approach in it and just understand that these people are really like, I wouldn't say slow, but they're like slow. They just don't know no better. And some of them think they're still in high school and they be like 40, 30, just still thinking that he's the cornball when she's the one on the red carpet interviewing him for his sold out movie, his box office movie. She's on the red carpet acting like a bird, trying to tell him how they were best friends in high school and tell the camera, oh, we go way back. So I get why he checked her, because it's like, no, we don't. And even if we do, obviously, they weren't friends because he knows who she is based off how he reacted. And nothing about his body language, like welcoming, like, hey, how you been? If I'd seen somebody I knew from high school, I would dab him, oh shit, we went to the same school, da da da. She had to bring it up. And even when she brought it up, he was like, yeah, okay. Like, he didn't care at all. So it's his body language was telling in how he reacted to it. The fact that he really didn't want to speak to her. He just pretty much was giving her the cold shoulder the whole time. I just think a lot of us need to understand that, especially as black men, and I really want to emphasize this for black men. You have to understand that the world is a really big place, and the neighborhood you live in on the scale compared to how big the world is, how big the city or state you live in is very small in comparison. And I know it seems like it's the whole world now, and your high school is your whole world, and you're trying to make sure you look cool to these people. But I would just say, you know, even if you are going to do certain things that might not be the best, I would advise it against it. But I would just say, understand that a lot of the stuff that's being seen as corny now, I wouldn't even say you have to wait and then one day it won't be corny, because I know everyone hears that, oh, in 10 years. Most people don't want to wait 10 years. So I'll give you even this advice. Understand that what's corny in one area is not corny in another area. For example, I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up in good areas, but I skateboarded. I was like one of those kids skateboarding in the hood. That's corny, nigga. That was me. Rip slicking, rollerblading. I'm surprised they didn't shoot my dumbass. But luckily, thank God, all the drug dealers was cool. To me, again, my experience growing up in these areas, most people don't fuck with you if you're not about that life. If they know you're not about that life and you openly say, I'm not about that life, they leave you alone. Most niggas ain't trying to just bully people all day. Now, if you're in one of them neighborhoods, I don't got no advice for you. Those are just lame niggas that don't want to go push up on somebody that's about that life. I feel like if you're a street dude, go do stuff to other street people. Why are you out here messing with a skateboarder when you tote guns? Go mess with other people that tote guns. Y'all could shoot at each other and leave me alone. So for me, my experience was the drug dealers in my neighborhood was cool. They was buying us ice cream. They was cool as shit. They was telling us stay out the streets. The same for you. And I was like, yes, you're right. It's not for me. Thank you. We are both on the same page. So I didn't really get the experience of being tormented. Now, of course, I had it hard. People made fun of me. People clown me. But I guess I just don't look at it with that much anger. Maybe some people hold on to it, but honestly, I don't, because I just feel like I always knew they were dumb. Even then, when they were making fun of me for certain shit, I always knew they were dumb. Like, it was people like making fun of me for the weirdest stuff, like, you ain't never been in enough fights, or, oh, you ain't never been to jail. I've been clowned for not going to jail. So you have to understand the mindset of those people. That's like a surfer. Let's say you guys are all surfing, and they're like, yo, you're a bitch ass nigga. You've never been bit by a shark. You've never been attacked by a shark. You ain't about that life until you're attacked by a shark. People like that, you have to understand they're mentally off. So when you're in the hood, you're dealing with a lot of people that, it's not that everybody in the hood is dumb. It's just a low vibration people, because no offense, there's a reason why generations and generations of them are still there, and no one's broken that generational curse of finances and gotten them out the hood. There's a reason why his great-grandmother lived in that neighborhood, his mother lived in that neighborhood, he lived in that neighborhood, and chances are he's going to have kids in that neighborhood and die in that neighborhood. There's a reason for that. It's not because they're free thinkers and outwardly smart people. It's something that keeps you there in those environments for long periods of time. Like, we came to this country in 2002, lived in the hood for a couple of years, probably like 10, if I want to say, probably like 10, who knows. And then we moved to a house, like, or we moved to a different neighborhood, which was a house. But even if you don't move to a house, you can move to a different neighborhood. So you have to understand the mindset of people that stay in the hood for years, when their great-great-grandmother lived there, they lived there, their mama lived there. It's just, and they want to have their kids there. There's a mindset to that, and you have to understand that those type of people are just people you should just quietly laugh at and not really take too seriously. And just understand that, again, being a cornball in the black community is really a compliment, because literally that means you've never been to jail. Chances are you don't have no kids, because, you know, they think having kids is like lit. You know, just you be 15 with 5 different baby mamas, and that's like, yo, he's a lit nigga. No, bro, no. So just understand that, again, if you've ever been called corny by anyone, whether it's somebody making fun of you, people you went to school with, people you grew up in the hood with, just understand that that's a small minority of people that think like that, and just hope and pray that very soon, hopefully you're old enough to understand that you can move one day. And even if your mom doesn't have the mindset, because some of us come from these type of messed up individuals that birthed us, and if you're smart enough to think outside the box where you don't think a lot like them, you will be seen as corny. But one day you will be able to move out, you will be able to meet like-minded individuals that don't think like them, and just act like you don't know them. When you see them pushing a stroller and you have a nice car and you've lived and made your money, did what you need to do, just downshift and flow past their ass, because that's life. They're going to be where they are. Their kids are going to be where they end up, and that's just the way life goes. So I wouldn't tell anybody to really hold any animosity to anybody that made fun of you or called you corny, because the end, I was definitely called different names and lame and all this type of shit. But, you know, life goes on, and most of the people, again, that calls you those things, bro, when you look at the way their life turns out, it's never the way you would have wanted your life to turn out. So by that definition, if being corny is having a nice life, making money, and having wealth, I'll be corny all day. I don't need friends, especially in this community, in the black community. I love black people, I love black women, but you got to understand, some of us are just messed up in the head, and you can't save them, you can't help them. It just is what it is. So the whole corny stuff, understand that. Again, I know I'm being long-winded, and I apologize for that. I would just say, understand that it's just a mindset, and as long as you change the vibrations in which you're thinking, you're always going to seem corny to the people that aren't on that, at that place or at that wavelength. You're just going to be off to them. It's just like anything in the world. So, hey, if that's corny, please be corny and keep being corny. And please let me know if you've been called corny at all at any point in your life, for what, and where did you grow up as well. I would love to know that. I grew up closer to DC, so because I wasn't a street nigga, you know how that goes. It is what it is, though. But let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching my video.